and in this video I will give my opinion on the MAG7, so the big MAG7 stocks. We're talking Tesla, Nvidia, and they have, as everyone basically knows, has been, you know, a massive performer for the past, I don't know, 15 years, 20 years even. Even the dips, you know, we saw, or the big drops we saw back in 08 is minuscule now. They are, you know, basically a blip on the charts. Done really, really well. So let's check in where we are in time on these stocks here. And yeah, let's see what it is. Again, if you want to follow me, guys, you can do it on SOXX, you can do it on YouTube, here on Twitter as well. Become a member and see if my analysis is something for you. And yeah, let's have a look. See, we will start with Nvidia. We assumed out here 2000, actually year 2000, right? And as you can see here, here we are again. These drops were very, very large. 90% we had back in 08, and the tech bubble was 90%. So in my opinion, again, we are very lofty now and trending heavily to the upside over here. But I'm expecting at some point in time here, you can see the drops are at least 50%. And this we will also see again when timing wise, who knows, right? But for now, you can see here we have this channel here going, starting from 2000s, and basically we broke out from that channel. 20 years later we broke out and retested it, you know, in 2022, and it has been up ever since. Again, since the retest here, it was 11, and now we are at 130 in 2 years time. That is incredible. That is really, really spectacular, really. That's amazing. But where are we now with regarding to this whole thing? We will drop down to the daily charts, and as you can see, we have a very precise uptrend here, starting from the retest. Again, just resistance, right? Support, resistance, resistance, support. So for now, at least, as long as that trend is intact, you own Nvidia, you basically do nothing. It is what it is. Just ride the trend. As soon as you break, have like a weekly, maybe even monthly, you know, close below the trend, then you're out. Simple stuff. Zooming in here a little bit shorter term. Again, this was a buy signal that I gave to the members on Substack, and also will be doing on YouTube. YouTube and Substack will get the exact same, you know, videos. Short term here, potentially a little bit scary, but hey, until that is, you know, proven, it's still, you know, a massive uptrend. So we have this little head and shoulders pattern, and and that is your neckline. So you can see here, if we start to break for some reason, then actually getting below anywhere between 132 to 130, that is a major break of a 2-year uptrend. You're having a topping pattern at the end, and so that is where you should be, at least know that we are actually going to go all the way down to here, in my opinion, down to that breakout line there, and then we will see what happens. But decision point here for the Nvidia resumed uptrend comes here if and when we break above the head high here and the right shoulder high. If we start to rally, I mean, all this doesn't matter, and we're going way higher again. So yeah, I think this will decide during this week, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, roughly 5 trading candles within this little wedge pattern here. So big moves coming for Nvidia this week and into the next end of year. So Nvidia, what a banger this has been, right? Very clear. Also the breakout, and then you have again entry down here at 18. Beautiful, absolutely amazing. If we are to do like a measured move here, let's see if we take the absolute low there, we add it on top to the break, you can see that we actually have a little bit more upside, potentially close to 200s to reach that bull flag. So again, this was done very quickly, so don't take it as too much. So yeah, Nvidia strong as hell. Some decision point coming here this week or the next week. And you can just see here the trend that we are potentially about to break here. If we remove the wick to wick down here, you can see here, there it is, roughly 130 and below. It gets a little bit dicey there for Nvidia, so be careful. Google. Also zooming out here, look at the uptrend. Absolutely amazing. The blue one here is basically defining to some degree, because we only have one here. We have the start points and then we have that. We have no touches whatsoever, so we don't have the fourth to basically confirm it per se, but still trending up heavily, nicely, nothing wrong here. This is, by the way, Heikin-Ashi candle, so it's easier to spot the trend, and also I think it's easier for you to see what's happening on the charts. Again here, just like Nvidia, a massive break at 100. Now we are at 200 for Google, and fighting some all-time, some double top all-time highs here. But still, that is a mega strong weekly candle. This is a bullish weekly candle because this is the first. This is a green candle with no wick on the bottom and massive wick on the top. Very bullish sentiment. And basically, ever since we printed the first bullish Heikin-Ashi candle here, it has been up. You can see it again here. Right now, I mean, Google looks again, nothing to worry about. We might have some short-term resistance from the highs from July, but yeah, as long as we are in this yellow, smaller time frame, we're talking 2 years, by the way, uptrend, it is all fine. It's all fine, really, for Google. And again, we can actually, if we are, as long as we are in here, we have, again, the upper blue here is a magnet, so you're still talking, $60, roughly 30% or so to that target if we get there. So yeah, Google, very strong. Break of this internal support here, and we moved down to like 130. So, but yeah, for now, nothing at all to be worried about. Everything is trending heavily. The weekly moving average, the trend lines are trend. Everything is good for Google. That can change fast, by the way. So don't. I mean, this is not only pure roses. So Apple, again, what a killer company this has been, right? If again we're up way too much on Apple, and you can see here again just trending, and we had this here as a resistance for roughly 30 years. That trend line there. And then we broke after what happened in 2020. We broke, and we have basically been, at elevated prices, ever since, just trending higher and higher. Again, funny thing to note here, this parallel is just, you can see how it connects with the down here as well. Bear flagging there, touching here. You can just see that the parallel are beautiful. Parallel trend lines are amazing, in my opinion. I love parallels. And again here for Apple, ever since we have been breaking, we had this sliding correction here, bull flag, breakout, horizontal, breakout, retest, resumption. I mean, the magnet here is clearly the upper red here at roughly, depending on how we get there, 360 plus minus, $10 or so. At that point in time, we are gonna hit some heavy resistance, but yeah, again, just truly amazing performance by Apple. Microsoft. Also, I'm gonna zoom way out. Jesus, this is amazing. Look at the run it had back from 60, just up, and then you had the .com bubble, and actually it took over 16 years roughly to reach above that all-time high. And you basically had your entries down here roughly 40. But again, it took you roughly 15 years before you actually had a buy signal, like a major buy signal from that whole drop from Microsoft. And now we are 10 times higher from that, buy signal here, and then the all-time high, roughly 8 times, 7 times more, and yeah, still looks really really strong. I mean, tech right now is just blasting on all cylinders. I think we are at the the last kind of push here for tech. And again, this was March 2020. If we were to make that the flagpole, depending on how you measure, you can use it from the lows or from the breakout point. There's potentially still a lot of upside. There were some risk here with a topping pattern, but we didn't quite reach down to the pit of the right shoulder, at the end of the right shoulder, and we basically had a little wedge pattern here breaking to the upside. Bullish Heikin-Ashi candles, very strong. There's nothing really to be worried about right now for Microsoft. I think we could even add, yeah, exactly. We could even add some sort of channel here. So the target right now from this smaller time frame stuff is roughly 535, depending on how we get there. Obviously, if we are going to come break down at some point in time, right, that is extremely dangerous. So, but right now, as today here, the 14th of December, tech hella strong still, really, really strong. Amazon, good old Amazon, we're going to zoom way out, way out. It's not a picture perfect uptrend. We had a little bit of a overperformance here, but other than that, you can just clearly see every time, you know, support and resistance below at the low side, and resistance from the top side there. Same thing here, .com bubble really kicked the teeth out of Nvidia, almost, I wouldn't say bankrupt, but you're down 95%, so you basically need a 20x just to get break even at that point in time. It took 10 years for Amazon to become break even from the highs from the .com bubble. A little bull flag here as well. Then we had, you know, 08, getting back to the start of that bull flag right there, and then we just rallied, breakout, retesting the highs from the .com bubble, retesting, and ever since basically upwards. You didn't have many, you know, clearer breaks or entries in this uptrend. It has just been running heavily. We had some bull flagging going on here. Again, a little bit of stuff going on there. These are probably the bigger ones. And I guess if you zoom in, you know, to lower time frames, and if you want to basically buy retests after a breakout to all-time highs, then you could have gotten in. But other than that, you know, Amazon, what a performer. Where are we now for Amazon? So yeah, basically previous all-time high here. We fought a bit, false breakout all the way back down to the lower blue here, and then we finally broke. So yeah, uptrending here. I'm expecting fully to be trending on the 30 weekly. Yeah, for sure. Everything's trending all-time highs. So as we speak here, no danger, no big danger, let's say. People are calling flash crashes and all that. Right now, that is definitely not looking at it here. Nothing is breaking here at all. So yeah, good old Tesla, good old Elon. Yellow uptrend here, by the way. Beautiful parallel. We didn't get a touch here, which if we would have, I would have been, you know, a huge buyer at that point in time. Clearly that wasn't the case, but we did get some structures here, and we are basically peaking above all-time highs here, back from 2021. You can see it there. That's the highs, and yeah, buy signals were actually given on that break and on that retest, and up here at the big neckline, boom. The big neckline, inverted head and shoulders with a little bit of a bull flaggish handle kind of thing going on there. You see that often, by the way, when you have the shoulders. Just before a break, you get a little bit of a wobble, and then you go higher again. So really, really strong Tesla chart. I would expect here a little pause at the triangle high here, maybe a little bit of a ripple, and then we go higher. But again, overall, right now, I haven't checked, you know, the short, how many shorts that there are. Again, it could blast straight through. So I did sell part of my position here. If we overperform here in the short term, I will happily take it. If we're going to come down, I will try to see if I can get an entry, right? Ideally, we're going to come all the way down to here, right? Big backtest of the neckline. That will be a huge buy. Do I think that will happen as we're looking at it now? No. But if it does, again, if it does, I will be there. But I'm not, you know, putting my entire life savings on that we're gonna hit it. So so plenty right now, plenty of room to run here longer term until proven otherwise. And yeah, we have some targets up here. So some big targets actually. If they are met, you know, this is gonna be a big performer really. Meta. That is that's not Amazon. That's the what's it called? Facebook and so on, and Instagram, I think, and a few others. Snapchat as well, right? Yeah, you have to correct me on that. I think Snapchat is involved. Or isn't it? No, it's not. Never mind. I'm just mumbling. So, again, somewhat simple, in quotes. Again, you have an insanely long-term uptrend parallel here. IPO back in 2012, so we only have roughly 10 years worth of data. And we are basically at the resistances up here, this double rail that we have. Getting some, feelings, or that this could be a rising wedge into that resistance. So if it can blast through, obviously we're gonna have a mega run here, but usually they're gonna come down and at least test it there. So you gotta, in my opinion, sell into strength here if we are going to get that move. Sell into strength, because they often come down really hard, especially if they can't hold. Especially if they can't hold here, that's gonna be very damaging. So right now, Meta into big resistance. But yeah, if you can get above roughly, my opinion, roughly here, 660 plus minus, then we can have that mega blow off here from that already insane move. Again, we are up 600%. Yeah, 600% in like 2 years. That is amazing. Blasting straight through previous all-time highs. But so yeah, still insanely strong into a lot of resistance here for Facebook or Meta. But until proven otherwise, again, until we see some major technical breakdowns, there's really nothing to be worried about in the larger grand scheme of things, right? So ARK, I want to look at the ARK innovation. By the way, this is this whole stuff here is the exact replica, more or less, of the Cisco.com bubble, the iconic chart that you have, the boom and bust cycle, I think it's called, coming all the way down. And you can see here, this is the average trend here. Massive move, bear flagging, collapse, testing that, and then now it's gonna have some catching up to do, and we actually broke here back in September 2024, and now we are at the upper side of this channel here. You could call it a bear flag, but again, I think we are above so many supports here that I think we could actually have a move all the way to the underbelly of that, basically the trend line that defines the chart, really, So that could be, if we break the yellow here, the upper bear flag, we could have, a move up to like 100, 90, 100 for the ARK innovation. So yeah, very strong still. So yeah. But at these lofty prices, especially in Nvidia, for instance, right? If we start to see that breakdown in Nvidia, again, that could be the start. There's still a lot of dip buying still, and you can still see the trend is heavily up. So there's still a lot of dip buying, but that could be the precursor of the start of something bigger. But again, these moves, they don't come crashing down like that, right? There will be dip buyers, and then you'll see bear flagging going on, and then we see the rollover. If we were to do, maybe if we want to have the bearish view here, you could argue, if we start to break here, that actually you could be coming all the way down here, right? And then you start to get really scary, and then you get the crash, right? If that happens again, who knows, right? But again, if we start to break here, you could come all the way down if things go really bad, and then you will have the last little right shoulder, depending on how strong it is, and that's when things get insanely. That's when you get the crash, by the way, not from here. So that is my take on the big MAG7. For now, still strong until proven otherwise. But these are basically the market right now, and crypto right now. They have done really well ever since the Trump victory. But right now the market is MAG7, and obviously some few others is catching a bit. But again here, these are the big performers. Yeah, and AI obviously is also doing well. You have a lot of medium-sized AI companies that has done tremendously. So tech still strong. So that's my take, guys. Have an amazing day. It's 20 minutes here. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, you know where you can follow me, guys. Have an amazing weekend wherever you are in this crazy world. So cheers, guys. Bye.